Good morning. It's Ayya Vimala. Today is Tuesday, October the 13th. Seems to be flying by now that we're into fall. All of the leaves are falling around here. Yesterday, we had rain in the morning and then wind and dropped tons of leaves out of the trees, really tall trees around here. So looks like the birds are having fun turning every leaf over, digging. I haven't fed my critters yet today, so they're going through leftovers. It's a good way to get my little tiny yard cleaned up. Hope all of you are well, and being careful about the way you watch news. We had our book group last night for Pema Chodron's Welcoming the Unwelcome, and someone was talking about going on a news fast, and she realized she was reading several newspapers a week and watching news, and realized that watching the images is maybe the worst part of being a news junkie. So watching it was what she realized was really creating a problem for her. So I really admire someone willing to, make a specific, direct action to deal with what they're seeing rise up in them. Because if we can't stay calm and equanimous and take things in and deal with them right away, we're left with a lot of anxiety and fear and stress, and it wears us down. It's just like being sanded away. Our nerves are raw, and that's what's going in our mind. So one of the ways that we work with purifying our mind is getting rid of the old kind of negative patterns in our mind, but then we allow only skillful, wholesome qualities to come back in through our thoughts and through the ways we interact with everything in the world. So we're trying to get rid of the unwholesome and the unskillful mental states so we have room for these new or fresher, wholesome, skillful states. So if we keep putting into our mind things that cause us a lot of stress and anxiety, it's important to recognize that, because we can take care of that. And going on a diet towards the media might be exactly the thing we have to do. You have to be brave and very determined to go on a complete fast, but it's possible. So I admire that. But the group is able to discuss lots of topics. There's so much that we can different parts of Pema Chodron's writing appeal to each one of us differently. And so far nobody's been in big disagreement with her, but there's room too to disagree with anything she says or her take on something. But it's really enjoyable. So you can still join. We're moving slowly, but we're just all sharing parts that stand out with us, and then we may get into a discussion about that particular part, or sometimes people share their take on it, and that benefits others in the group. So join us if you can. There's no cost. It's the book Welcoming the Unwelcome. I'm always flashing it. But it's an hour. I think we all feel good that we're developing just this little, there's some lightness in it, because this is not a heavy duty task we're taking on, but we can enjoy each other's company on Zoom. And jokes are allowed, humor is allowed, and I think it's a good break for all of us from from the news. So it's definitely a way to take a break from the heaviness of how we feel about the world these days. But that heaviness, has gone on and on and on and on in this world. So it's nothing new, right? We're just having kind of a perfect storm of things right now. So I wanted to remind everybody about, this is from Sylvia Boorstein, and she's a teacher with insight, but I like the way this reads, and I always keep it on a little index card. What are my intentions for today? And this is using the 5 precepts as a way to set intentions. And I love the way she's written it. So this is something, if you've taken the precepts, or if you just want to be reminded of being a good human being, this is one of those things. Used to, we would tape everything to our medicine cabinet or to the mirror in the bathroom. Back in the 70s, that was a technique. What are my intentions for today? On behalf of myself and all beings, I intend to refrain from consciously hurting anyone. I intend to refrain from overtly or covertly taking what is not mine. I intend to be sure that my speech is kind as well as true. I intend to refrain from addictive behaviors that confuse my mind and lead to heedlessness. And so she's put these are 4 things, but she's wrapped all 5 of the precepts up. So I like this. And I, reading the last one, I intend to refrain from addictive behaviors that confuse my mind and lead to heedlessness. And classically, that's written in Pali as to abstain from liquor and alcohol and drugs that confuse my mind and lead to heedlessness. But we recognize today that there are lots of addictive behaviors that we can get into, just like the addiction to the news, whether it's reading it or watching it or talking about it. We know that can be an addiction too. So that's why I admire the person saying she had undertaken a fast from the media, and she's really watching how it's affecting her. So there are other things we can become addicted to that we can take a look at. So always notice how you feel in your body and let that be your guide. How does it feel as you're into that? It can be, wow, it can be so many things in our culture today. So I want to read again, because I'm thinking, and I know you are too, about the earth these days, and the earth is nourishing us. And if you can get out and take a walk or be out under the sky, that's one of the best antidotes to getting any kind of cooped up feeling or becoming filled with despair for the world and whatever's going on in it, or angry, whatever your favorite go-to negative emotion is. The earth can nurture us. But then for a lot of us, one of the big issues for us is climate change, and how well or how badly we feel we're taking care of this earth. So I love this St. Francis, the Canticle of Brother Sun and Sister Moon. I'm going to read it again today, and we can use it as you can sit with it as a meditation or a prayer. But I think what it helps me do is realize no matter what we're doing to the earth is still here to nurture us and for us to be taking joy from it. And I think the more joy we have in the earth and the creatures of the earth, the better we treat it. That's just a natural outcome. But it is nurturing us, and it's gotten a lot of us, just our contact with nature and our contact, the friends I know who are outdoors a lot and go on hikes and walks, for many of them that's been the game changer for getting through the last 6 or 7, however many months it is now, because they really have that strong contact with nature and they recognize it as a healer. So I think that's not an area, if we're politically very involved in climate change politics, we still have to be aware that that's Mother Earth. That's what we can go back to so many times to feel comfort and to feel safe. And don't let that become something that you're angry about all the time. The politics, try to really work with that, because I know that's a difficult issue. There's so many issues are difficult these days, but don't let those issues that we really want to see change in the world. But remember, it's not on our timetable, no matter how much we want it to be or how much we think it should be. We have to remember that patient kindness. We can be kind knowing that everything that we're wanting to see be better, the way we push it ourselves sometimes, if we don't think that we did a good enough job, or if we think that we weren't a good enough parent. We're always pretty brutal with ourselves. And that's our public face. We need to be in the things that we work on outside of our own selves. We need to be careful that we're not being too brutal with ourselves about not changing the world fast enough, because patience and kindness and recognizing that the world doesn't move on our timetable, that moving back, seeing Earth from afar and seeing our connection first of all, but then realizing that if we can take some distance from the issue that we may be most concerned about, we need to breathe a little bit, and we need to allow it, do the best we can, and work as hard as we are able to and want to, but also be aware that we are not in control of when the right outcome is going to come about. And we don't really even know what the right outcome is. And everything is impermanent in this world. So we have to remember those things that we truly know about the world. We have to see it in the world and experience it for ourselves. Everything is impermanent, and we are not in control. So that's one reason I think I love this St. Francis Canticle of Brother Sun and Sister Moon. I think it helps put things in perspective. And so you can change the words to fit with whatever spiritual message you're hearing, but that's not a problem, I don't think. So let's do that. And then I think it'll probably be, if you can, after I read this, maybe just keep sitting and meditating for another 5 minutes, just being with your breath. But gently close your eyes while I read this. I'm going to read the beginning and the end today, because this is part of the Catholic service, I think, for the dead. And I want to be respectful to I've left out the first and very last lines, but I'm going to read it today. Most high, all powerful, all good Lord, all praise is yours, all glory, all honor, and all blessings. To you alone, Most High, do they belong, and no mortal lips are worthy to pronounce your name. Praise be you, my Lord, with all your creatures, especially Sir Brother Sun, who is the day through whom you give us light, and he is beautiful and radiant with great splendor. Of you Most High, he bears the likeness. Praise be you, my Lord, through sister moon and the stars. In the heavens you have made them bright, precious, and fair. Praise be you, my Lord, through brothers wind and air, and fair and stormy all weather's moods, by which you cherish all that you have made. Praise be you, my Lord, through sister water, so useful, humble, precious, and pure. Praise be you, my brother. Praise be you, my Lord, through brother fire, through whom you light the night, and he is beautiful and playful and robust and strong. Praise be you, my Lord, through our sister, Mother Earth, who sustains and governs us, producing varied fruits with colored flowers and herbs. Praise be you, my Lord, through those who grant pardon for love of you and bear sickness and trial. Blessed are those who endure in peace by you, Most High. They will be crowned. Praise be you, my Lord, through sister Death, from whom no one living can escape. Woe to those who die in mortal sin. Blessed are they she finds doing your will. No second death can do them harm. Praise and bless my Lord, and give him thanks, and serve him with great humility. Amen. So when you go outside today, remember to look up. Keep your feet on the ground, but always remember to look up. I've had periods in my life where I forget to look up at the sky at night. And when I get through that period, and it might just have been because of not being mindful, when I remember to look up, it's always such a gift. Sometimes the sky is full of stars and sometimes it isn't, but just looking up, just even letting the body look up is good. So have a beautiful day. If you can, sit a little longer and just be with your breath. And you might just look at your thoughts, be aware of what's going through your mind. Let yourself just observe those thoughts. You don't have to go over each one. You can allow them to pass on, but just let your meditation today be observation of the thoughts going through your head. And then after you do that, then just come back to your breath. Sometimes we get surprised by what's going through our head all the time. And we can let go of some of it. Just because once we become aware of it, we pay a little bit of attention to it, then we can let it go, and it can let us go. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll see you Thursday I can't see you. Maybe I can record later on Thursday, but I can't see you at 10 because I'm going to lead a mindfulness practice for a leadership group, part of the Mainstay Therapeutic Farms programs. So I don't think it's going to be with horses there, but I'll get to see some of my favorite humans. Okay, so I'll see you Friday, and I'll try to record later in the morning on Thursday, but it won't be live at 10 a.m. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.